Hi, I'm Casey Jackson.
I'm Miles Rogers, and this is Show Stories, produced by the Hive Mind Collective.
It's a podcast about all things local music.
Great stories from shows past.
And promoting bands, musicians, artists, and producers that are making music in your community.
And now, here's Show Stories.
What's up, listeners? Welcome to episode 3 of Show Stories. I'm your producer, Casey Jackson. On this episode, me and Miles talk about some of the bands that I've seen in the last few months, both local and national bands. And later on in the episode, we have the first part of our interview with Taylor Orton, who is the drummer for Turtleneck Wedding Dress currently, but is also very well known for being the drummer of I Am the Ocean. But first, here's me and Miles.
We're going to talk about, Casey's been like a show-going machine lately, so he's going to tell us about some local shows and non-local shows he's been to, and we're going to talk about some shows coming up in Salt Lake. So, Casey saw, 1975 recently. How was that show?
You know, I wasn't originally into them all that much. I don't know, this super radio poppy 80s kind of band.
Yup.
But my wife started getting way into them, and so I just hear them all the time, and they actually really grew on me, especially once I started like reading the lyrics, and
It's catchy for sure.
Yeah, and he's got really smart, clever lyrics too, and so I don't know. I actually developed a liking for them, so seeing them
all about it.
Yeah, seeing them live was actually pretty fucking cool, and they have kind of a. You know, they're a huge band, so they had a big stage show with, like, and they almost boxed the entire stage with, like, light panels and shit, so...
Oh, cool.
And like, the whole background was a big, giant screen, so they could put whatever the fuck on there, and it was really cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
Opening for that show was a pretty rad band that I actually have been into lately. I don't know how, but they found me. I love that name, dude.
It's a cool
name. With Utah's own Ryan Seaman.
Yeah.
Drummer of Fast Catch Runaway. I always say that. Whenever I see him, I'm like, hey, Fast Catch Runaway.
That's cool.
He doesn't like it. That band's amazing. How were they live?
Really, honestly, they're really good. We were fortunate enough to get there early enough to catch them and caught most of their set. But they actually have a song about the beginning band, like the opening band.
It's called No One Likes the Opening Band.
It's hilarious.
It's awesome.
And like just super tight. I mean, it's a bass player and a drummer on stage playing, but his vocals are incredible.
Yeah,
and you can tell that they
from Panic at the Disco.
Yeah, and you can tell that they work hard on their craft. You know, just like any other band.
Ryan's been working his ass off since he was 18, since he graduated high school and got on Warped Tour and was on Warped Tour for 14 fucking years after that. Ryan Seaman, if you ever listen to this, we love you, buddy. Yeah, I really need to come out and see them. I've seen him play in most of the bands he's played for. So
yeah, they're really good at getting the crowd, to.
He loves it so much, and you can see it, and so I feel like that kind of emanates from. Is that a word? Emanate? No, probably not. Anyway, we'll just forget about making up words. But yeah, if a musician is having fun on stage, I feel like I have more fun at the show, definitely. If you know what I mean. So Spill Canvas.
Oh,
that was like your favorite, yeah.
The Spill Canvas I have a deep love for that band.
A deep love.
And I mean, every time they come out, they usually play. They always have an epic set, but this time it was just kind of it was just giving you a little bit from every era of that band, and they've been around. I've been listening to it since like 2003 at least.
Yeah, of course.
And
it's crazy to think they've been around that long. That's almost 20 years, bro.
Yeah. He's gone through like two or three lineups with the rest of the band, because there was a time when a studio was saying, "Hey Nick, you need to come ditch your band and sit down with some writers and actually write some songs."
Fuck you.
he actually did it for an album or two, and then he's like, I don't fucking like this. This isn't what the Spill Canvas was.
Band.
Exactly. So, he got back into actually playing with a band and touring and all that stuff. So we get to see him. I saw him last 4 years in a row. So it was really good.
That's cool. I like when bands. Another band that does that that I'm going to be seeing in April. I don't know the date on it, but He Is Legend is coming back.
He Is Legend.
And they're coming back with While She Sleeps. They're a super rad band. I just can't wait to see He Is Legend. But they've stayed consistent over the years, you know what I mean? I mean, little breaks and whatnot in between records, but I mean, a solid record every couple of years, you know what I mean?
White Bat was so good.
The
last
Bat.
one.
Oh, He Is Legend. White Bat. It was so amazing. Boogie Woman, baby. Yep. So who opened for the Spill Canvas?
So it was a band called the Juliana Theory. You guys know who they are.
Just maybe this band. I don't know if you've ever heard called the Juliana Theory.
It was just it was the lead singer and the lead guitar player, basically doing an acoustic set, which was it was at Kilby, so it was super intimate. Not a lot of it was a great setting for it.
Yeah.
And the last time that they had played Kilby was like 2001.
Oh wow.
So it was cool for them. They still had there's still calendars on the wall at Kilby that
of course.
From clear back then. So they found the date that they played clear back then, and they're like, "Oh, we remember like a dog running around here," and it's just
Scribble
kind of a crazy
Jackson?
little. I don't know if it was Scribble, but
Scribble was she was always at the shows. Kilby's the greatest, man. I love Kilby Court. I went to the 20th anniversary last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last summer probably. It would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, they blocked off the street. It was so crazy. So they had 7th South blocked off from 3rd to 4th West, and the stage was set up the rear was facing 3rd West. So the stage was facing out towards west.
Oh wow!
So they had the sun setting on them, and it was just I don't know, the who's who of Salt Lake. You know what I mean? So many people that are just oh, what's up? Of course you're here. Yeah. Big hugs. What's up? Kilby Court. Happy birthday. But I saw a lot of good friends there. That was a great show. Well, cool. Juliana Theory was good though.
Way good. They were kind of just in the background of everything going on when I was in high school. You know what I mean? So it was kind of cool to hear those songs, a little bit updated in
funny.
Acoustics. So
you're exactly like Austin's age, I think, because Austin was obsessed with that band, and I didn't understand the obsession. He was so into Juliana Theory.
It was that early emo that nobody really liked, and everybody made fun of me for listening to, but I fucking loved it.
Rightfully so.
I know. Everybody hated Dashboard when all my friends hated Dashboard, and I fucking loved Dashboard.
Dashboard was gold at my school. Everybody loved Dashboard. So what about you saw Bayside? You invited me to Bayside, and I was unavailable. But how was Bayside?
Bayside was, just incredible. Talk about a band that's just consistently produced. Bayside, but still great music. Their whole career, and they've kind of had some bad run-ins with Utah.
Yeah,
to say the least.
Yeah,
but they love playing here. And
for those of you who don't know,
Utah loves it when they play here.
No, I was referring to the bad. Did they lose a member here?
Yeah, the drummer.
Yeah, the drummer passed away.
Yeah, they crashed. I think it might have been Fork Canyon.
Oh, I don't know.
Pretty sure it was Spanish Fork Canyon.
I feel like Bleeding Through crashed in a different area, but so many bands.
No, same area.
Oh,
it was crazy
area?
because it was the exact same canyon.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy that so many bands have war stories with Utah. That sucks. That makes me hurt because I want them to keep coming here. Just don't tour in the winter.
It's a popular because you take Spanish Fork Canyon and catch the 70 to Denver. That's how you get to Denver.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. Yeah, because you got to go south there. Mm-hmm. So who opened for Bayside? Or did you get there?
I got there a little bit late, so I don't really remember.
Was it a good show though?
But it was a way good show.
And they played really well.
Yeah, I met up with my friend Jacques there, and he was friends with the guy who was running the event staff.
Oh, cool.
And so we were right on the side of the stage, and I guess Jacques knows the bass player at Bayside. They're way good friends.
Oh, cool.
And they're just chit chatting before the show, talking about what they got for Christmas.
Why didn't you interview him?
I didn't have my shit.
I'm just fucking with you, dog. I'm just fucking with you, dog. I'm just trying to get something for these people. If anybody's listening to this, I was just trying to get a little content.
For sure. So that was way cool.
And then later that evening, you went to Friendsmas with the All Hail Racist Kramer.
Yeah,
I love that band name, and I love those dudes. Those are my high school boys.
That's so rad.
All those dudes. Grayson, nice to meet you. My name's Grayson. Last time I was at a Racist Kramer show, Grayson's like, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. I'm like, nice to meet you. I went to high school with you, dog. He's just like, oh my God, Miles! Like, gave me a big old hug. I look different, I guess, but super funny. CJ Coop. I was in a band with the Lethal West with that kid. Great motherfucker.
Refer yourself to our first episode.
Refer to the first episode. Do we talk? I didn't hear that.
Oh, no, sorry. Second episode.
Yeah, that'll be in the second episode.
Yeah, sorry.
So, Racist Kramer is good, though.
Oh, man.
Friendsmas is amazing.
I haven't been to, like, a punk rock show in a long while.
Their punk rock is shit.
And
on the slightly on the poppier side, but not in a negative way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're gritty and, like, punky, you know what I mean? But, like, very catchy, very listenable, like, repeat listenable. I get tired of listening to the Unseen and the Casualties after, like, a half hour. I'm like, God, my throat fucking hurts, dude. Chill out.
Oh, CJ's got a great voice still.
A great voice.
And, like, it's just, like, it's got you, like, a really good fast style, but then they have sort of, like, a Salt Lake feel in that, like, they totally have breakdowns. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And
his lyrics are great,
like too.
dude.
Yeah.
His lyrics have always been great. I love that kid.
They did something amazing for
We're
that
not kids
show.
anymore.
They played NoFX's Decline, all 18 minutes of it from beginning to end. That was insane.
I bet you anything that was Jared's idea. Jared, if you're listening to this, I want a confirmation of that. Let's get a text from you. Awesome.
And flawlessly. Like, even the bass solo in the middle, it was all badass. It was such a well-done show.
They shred, man. They're good musicians.
And they raised, like, over $5,300
every year. They raise money for that foundation.
It's the Domestic Violence Foundation.
Cool, yeah.
So, way cool cause.
Amazing cause to do that. And I mean, just, $5,000. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Those are some amazing dudes. And then our homies in Turtleneck Wedding Dress.
Oh, yeah,
Cruishmas. How was that show?
That was cool. It was fun. I've been telling Taylor that I was going to go see his show for, years, and I felt so bad. And I was like, oh, shit. They're playing tonight. Let's go. And, it was at Metro, and it was... I love that stage, and I love the sound on that stage. And
it's crazy. When they first moved to that location, I wasn't sold on it. Like, I was like, what's up with these chandeliers, dude? Like, the fuck? But I just had such a fondness for I played with Let Live at Old Metro and, like, Night Versus at Old Metro. So, like, I just had such a fondness for that venue. So when they switched, I was, like, kind of a bitter girlfriend for a minute. Like, fuck you, man. Don't switch my event. But, I mean, it's amazing what they've done to it. The Sartain's it's Will Sartain putting so much into it and making it what it is. You know what I mean? It's amazing. And, of course, the amazing Jeffrey Hacker and everything he has to do with that.
Go, Jeff.
Well, cool. I mean, if you're setting a good example for us going to shows, all y'all listen to this, go to the local shows. What the fuck? Including me.
Yeah, support your local scene.
Support your local scene, man.
Support your local venues,
we're in our fucking 30s, and we're still trying to do it. So, I mean, you might as well. Mm-hmm. There's some shows coming up. I mean, that's only relevant for those of you listening to this right away. So we've got, I believe this is a local show, Friday, January 17th at Metro, a band called Freedom by Dying, Let's Get Famous, Acacia Ridge, and Radiation Vacation. Bro, Radiation Vacation is such a sick band name.
Yeah, dude, I was just going to say, I love that band.
I got to look up that band. Cursive Cloud Nothing's Criteria is Saturday, January 18th. I don't know if you guys that'll even matter. That's coming up.
Yeah, that's...
January 28th, you dumb idiots. If you didn't get your tickets, they used. Sold out.
Dude.
They used at Metro. Let's talk about that for a minute. What kind of decision is that? They're an arena band.
Sure.
They're a Delta Center, whatever it's called. And that was 2 names ago.
They'll fill the Viv.
They'll fill the Viv, bro. They'll fill the Viv. They'll fill UVU down there.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Easy.
Metro, it sold out in 1 minute. My girlfriend
only-
has never seen them, and she's like, we have to go see them. Can we go see the Used, please? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And, like, she looked that morning. She's like, oh, yeah, it's sold out in 5 minutes.
Jesus.
Like, all those people aggressively clicking. Like, come on, dude. But that's awesome. I mean, good for them.
Yeah.
Still crushing. And then this is a personal vanity choice that I wanted to tell you about. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus will be here on February 20th. Do you really?
Yeah,
cool.
I do,
Take the fall played a show with them. They got put on just like a solo night bill. They had like nobody. Oh wait, no, Monty R.I., right? Yeah, Monty R.I., a band called Monty R.I. was opening for them, touring. Do you remember that band?
Yeah, I've heard
they had
that.
horns and stuff. They were
Okay,
a cool
yeah.
band. Yeah. So it was just those 2 bands. Red Jumpsuit, Face Down hadn't hit the radio yet when this tour got booked.
Oh,
So
wow.
the people at the Avalon are like, yeah, whatever. Monty R.I. and the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. So they just threw the show together with like locals on it. Then that song hit hard on the radio. And all of a sudden, these guys are pissed that they have locals opening for this. But yeah, we got sweated for it. But we did such a good job. We killed it. Take the fall. That was great. We played like 5 quick songs. It was a great show. That was literally like loudest I've ever heard in my entire life. I walk on stage and it was like they treated us like we were like Red Jumpsuit. You know, they screamed for us like we were that big. It was just the most deafening sound ever. And I'm just like, oh, cool. I'm gonna keep doing this for a little while.
We were supposed to play with Mastodon one time at Club Vegas.
That would have wrecked. That would have been super
They
sick.
bitched about having a local band open.
Yeah, so they had somebody else. That sucks.
Like, the club owner even showed them, like, our EP and everything. Like, it's good.
It's
We
great.
still don't want them opening for us. Let's just say they had a bit of an entitled attitude.
No, definitely, and I don't like that, and I just but like for sure that would have been a sick show. Mastodon, that's a sick band. Well, yeah, that's all the upcoming shows I've got. If we missed your show and you happen to listen to this and you want us to talk about your show coming up, hit us up.
Post it on the Hive Mind Collective Facebook page.
Or you can just hit us up because not that many people are hitting us up yet, so
Yeah.
we'll probably respond real quick.
One of the main focus points of this podcast is support local music. So please make sure you check out some of these projects that we mentioned. Find your local favorite band and frequent their shows. The next segment is, again, part 1 of 2-part interview with Taylor Orton. He drums for a band called Turtleneck Wedding Dress. They're pretty badass. He's also known for being the drummer of I Am the Ocean. Here's us and Taylor.
Sitting here with Taylor Orton. Hey, Tay.
What's up?
What's up? Try and get tight in that mic.
Tight in it?
Thanks for coming to hang out today.
Tight in it.
Tight in it. Yeah, dude, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
We've just been we thought it would be kind of cool to tell stories about Salt Lake music and stuff. And hopefully other people who like Salt Lake music will listen to it. So
Yeah, Casey was like, you want me to send you the questions we're going to ask you? No.
no, I'd rather it be natural. I'd rather know what I'm just pop, right? When did you start playing drums?
I don't know the exact age, but it all started when, well, obviously there's been a drum kit that's been in my house for ever since I can remember because my grandpa played, apparently my grandma played a little bit, my dad plays, and my brother plays.
Nice.
So
In the family, then.
yeah, in the family. My dad's, I mean, he's not a shredder by any means, but he likes to.
He can keep a beat.
Yeah, he can
4/4.
keep a beat. Yeah, it's great. It keeps his hi-hat real wide and open and
Nice.
grooves along.
Loud and clashy.
Yeah, and then my brother wanted a drum set for Christmas, so he got a drum set for Christmas. So there was always a drum kit in the house. A Tama Rockstar, classic, regular drum kit, you know.
Yeah, totally.
And I wanted to play guitar, so I asked for a guitar and a guitar amp for Christmas. This was, I want to say, 7th grade.
7th grade, 12, 13.
Yeah, so I asked for that for Christmas, and I had some friends up the street, Levi and Seth. They, 2 brothers, and they Christmas happened. I got a guitar and a guitar amp for Christmas and was taking guitar lessons at school, which is not the best form of guitar lessons.
That's where I learned it.
Yeah, but it's...
Guitar class.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's like some guy who's still in a band in his 40s, like still got the mullet and like the bolo tie.
It's like, I'll teach kids how to play guitar.
Yeah, I'll just
basic chords.
everybody sit down.
Which the funny part about that is I took that class, and then the next year they had the class, and I thought it was the second part of that, but it ended up being the same class. So the teacher...
You're like, I did this already.
Yeah, the teacher was like, well, I mean, you're not really supposed to be here, but since you know everything, you can help teach everybody else.
Maybe you can be my teacher's assistant.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, Mr. Ricks.
Mr. Ricks.
Mr. Ricks, who taught my brother how to play trumpet also. So
Nice.
But got that guitar and a guitar amp for Christmas, and then Levi and Seth up the street. Seth got a guitar and a guitar amp, and Levi got a bass and a bass amp for Christmas.
Parents trying to build a band.
Well, they were like, oh, yeah, we got this for Christmas. And I was like, I got this for Christmas, so we should start a band. And I was like, I'll play second guitar. And they're like, no, your brother has a drum kit. Like,
We need a drummer. We don't need a guitar player.
and at that time, you know, obviously if there's a drum kit in the house, I've dicked around on it many times, knew 4 or 5 basic beats. So then started a band called Insider, and that was my very first band. And we...
With Levi and Seth.
With Levi and Seth, yeah. We played
You still in touch with either of them?
9th grade talent show.
Do you ever see either of them?
I saw Seth, I want to say 6, 7 years ago.
Nice.
Levi I haven't seen other than, I guess, when I used to go to church. I don't know.
Yeah.
So from there, what's like a quick rundown of all the bands you've been in?
Oh, quick rundown. Let's think here. I think after Insider was Willem Dafoe. Because I went to school with Eric, and Eric was like, hey, our drummer quit. Can you learn these songs and try out for Willem Dafoe? And I was like, I mean, I guess, you know, like I'd never played like real hardcore music before or anything heavy. So I spent time doing all that, learning songs, and then had one band practice. And they never said like no or yes. They were just like, all right,
All right, good job.
cool, yeah. And then they're like, see you next practice.
So that was the yes.
Yeah, but it was just like, there was never like an initial, like, yeah, you did a great job.
They obviously heard. They just sat there and went, "Oh, well, obviously this is our new drummer. Let's see you next time."
Yeah, so then that happened, and then...
Just imagine though, real quick, like the difference that you've made in Salt Lake as a drummer, but it was just like at the time it was just a situation of convenience. You know what I mean? It was like, well, we need a drummer and you have a drum kit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like all the bands that may not have been, you know what I mean, or may not have been what they were without you. Like that's crazy. Cool.
Yeah, and then obviously things with bands don't have problems. Let's get that straight.
No, it's all easy.
Yeah,
right?
everybody gets along. And
No drama.
Yeah, no drama.
Best friends.
So there was a little bit of drama in that band, and then when it all came to it, we were like, yeah, screw this. We quit.
Wasn't Eddie Quintero in that
Yeah,
band? Yeah,
that's the
dude.
problem.
Oh, okay. All right. Moving on. Moving on.
But either way, something happened with us and Eddie, and he was like, fuck you guys. And we were like, yeah, whatever. We're done. So
Bye.
We went out to Sizzler.
With Eddie Quintero?
No, it was me, Tyler, and Eric, and Ryan Grosskreutz.
Yeah, I was going to say Brian Grosskreutz played.
Grosskreutz, yeah. And we went out to Sizzler, and we called
Grosskreutz.
Eddie, and we were like, we're done. We're not doing this anymore. And so that was the dinner conversation where Paris Green started.
Ah, okay.
So we were
Paris
like, hey,
Green.
let's just start a new
Chill
band.
Paris Green.
Which originally was supposed to be called Music in Arabic.
Oh, that's cool.
And we were going
I
to
like
use
that.
the Arabic symbol for music, like the language. And
Oh,
that was
cool.
going to be it, Music in
Oh,
Arabic.
Prince.
Yeah. And so we wanted to print merch. And Eric's uncle was the only guy that printed merch, and he was like, it was like right after 9/11. He was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
No. Music
So,
in Arabic's not a good idea.
So he was like, no, I'm not going to print that merch. So we're like, all right, whatever. So we switched it to Paris Green, which is technically, I guess, the deadliest insecticide known to man.
Sick. I was going to ask, where did it come from?
Is.
Thank you.
And then did Paris Green and played all over the place. I guess not all over the place, but we played awesome shows in St. George with Autumn Roads.
Autumn Roads, I remember doing shows with that
we
band.
played awesome shows. We played with Blood Brothers. Or I guess Willem Dafoe played with Blood Brothers at Kilby. And then Paris Green played with Planes Mistaken for Stars, Bear vs. Shark, tons of cool bands, because that was when Comedy Circuit was alive and thriving.
The circuit.
And then when Paris Green tied into how I met all of I Am the Ocean dudes, Jeremy, Adam, Kellen, all the dudes in Clifton, all those old bands, Day 2 and everybody like that, is S.L.C was playing their last show with their original lineup. I think it was their original lineup.
S.L.C was who?
Kellen and I want to say Elias is his name. He was the drummer. I don't know who else was in that. I was like super young, was like, oh, that's Kellen. Heard all about him.
Yeah. The famous.
Yeah. And so we played at the Dojo, which is the small building off the end of Positively 4th. Where the parking lot is. Where
The Dojo.
Like yeah. Old school. That was like Broship headquarters for a long time, I guess.
For real.
It's where Carl showed me Brazilian fart porn. If you don't know about it,
Look it up.
look it up. But we played there, and I think nobody had amps at the time. I think that's what was the problem. So we played acoustic. Paris Green played like our first like legit show. We played acoustic, and everybody's just like, "Who are these guys?
Dudes who don't have
and they're just
amps.
like way badass."
Yeah.
And then later became the nickname. Me and Eric, they nicknamed us Crumpets. Because we're from Sandy, so apparently we're the rich kids, you know.
Yeah.
Living in Crumpetville, you know.
Crumpetville.
So that's why we used to call weed Grinch,
Yeah.
because we're crumpets, you know.
The Grinch.
And so we played that show, and apparently that was the night that Jeremy decided I was going to be his drummer, eventually. Not sure exactly when he had planned that.
He's just like, eventually, this.
Yeah.
Because that's the boss.
He will be mine. Oh, yes. He will be mine.
I just like to play. But we played that show and then ended up playing all these crazy shows with I Am the Ocean and Clifton and stuff at Comedy Circuit, because they were just like, these guys are super awesome. And I also at the time was in Chaldeon.
Chaldeon.
Yeah,
That's another name. I love it. Dude, I love this is gonna work. This is gonna work. Anybody who cares about old bands like this will work.
And
Go ahead.
Pablo, who's the drummer for Chelsea Grin now, was originally the drummer in Chaldeon. And it was when I was in Willem Dafoe, they asked me to play, and I couldn't do it. So Pablo did it, and then Pablo stopped doing it. Willem Dafoe was too busy, so I couldn't do it. Then eventually, Willem Dafoe wasn't a thing. So Paris Green and Chaldeon kind of like coexisted around like the same time. Eric was in Chaldeon too for a minute.
So the two of you were just doing double duty. They've always done that.
Yeah. And then I joined a band called Icarus Falling, which was some members from Chaldeon. It was like, and I can't ever remember his name, the singer, but it was like
It's like dudes would get in a fight with everybody, and so they'd be like, I'm out. And then like they're still friends with like a couple of the dudes. He's like, hey, maybe do you want to play with me in my project like a little bit? Yeah, totally. All right, cool. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Icarus Falling is like the one band that I don't remember like anything. Like I remember playing shows and it being super awesome, but that's like the one band I've been in where I don't have any like recordings, no recollection of like how the songs went. I know they were cool. Because everybody always would be like, you guys sound a lot like Thrice. And I'm like, well, that means it's cool.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a win.
And then Eric started touring with Autumn Roads without telling anybody.
Eric Rose.
Yeah. So we were like, oh, where's Eric? And he called and he's like, oh, I'm on tour with Autumn Roads. So we were like, oh, you don't care about this band. So we ended Paris Green. And at that time, Justin Wilson, Ryan had left way before that. Justin Wilson started playing bass. And the day Paris Green broke up, I got a call from Jeremy, and he asked me to play for I Am the Ocean.
Nice. What had happened with their drummer? Who was playing drums at the time?
His name's Jason. I can't ever remember his last name, but
Oh,
I
right.
think they used to call him Meaty Paws. I think that was his nickname.
Meaty Paws.
Yeah, I guess he had like big hands. I don't
Okay.
know. Either way.
Either way.
See, I didn't even know of I Am the Ocean until you were in that band.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. I knew of them before that because I watched them play in Alex Johnson's mom's house in the dance studio in the basement. And that was like the first time I saw I Am the Ocean, and I was like, oh, these guys are really cool.
In the dance studio?
Yeah, his mom taught like dance, so she had a studio in her basement.
That's funny. So did CJ's mom. They had like a mirror and like a tap, like a pole
Yeah,
and
the,
shit.
the bar.
Yeah, the bar. The bar. Funny.
How far up do you have me, real quick? Just real quick.
You're cranked.
Check, 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 check. Really?
Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Check, check, check.
That's way better. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Something else turn that down?
No.
Okay, never mind.
No, that's better.
Could just be this guy.
Yeah, we were just getting you out of his mic, so now I'm at least hearing you. But yeah, so Taylor started playing for I Am the Ocean.
Yeah, I got a call from Jeremy. He's like, I want you to play drums for I Am the Ocean. I was like, all right.
What year was this?
Oh, I was 19. So, I don't even know. 2009? 2008-ish, 2009?
Yeah.
And then like an hour later, I got a call from Brian Edwards from Clifton. And he was like, hey, I Am the Ocean dudes are looking for a drummer. And
You're like, no, I already play drums for them.
yeah, I was like, oh, I'm already in. He's like, all right, we'll see you soon. And like that was the whole conversation. Like I hardly even knew, like I knew them from like playing shows at Clifton, but it was like first off a random phone call from Jeremy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, because I always answer random numbers because the likelihood of being able to mess with someone for a few minutes is totally worth it to
All
me.
day. Totally worth it.
And during that first band practice, Jeremy says in, what was it, 3 weeks? No, it might have been 3 weeks to a month. We're going to Portland to record a full-length record, and you're coming with us.
And your city needs swallowing. ...
And your city needs swallowing. And
With
so, Nick Benson, Kellen, Adam, and Jeremy, and then Drew came with us to go record.
okay.
And then eventually Nick quit, and then that's when we got Eric to play.
So Eric wasn't an OG member?
No,
Oh, I did not know that.
technically I'm not even OG member. so-
Well, yeah, we found that out. Casey found that out
Yeah.
today.
And then did that for a long time, and then just been doing all sorts of weird shit on top of that ever since.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what we wanted to delve into. So Ocean did And Your City Needs Swallowing, and then toured on that a lot, right?
Yeah, and you're sitting and swallowing. We toured on a lot. It was really hard to tour with Kellen with a current health state that he was in, but
Yeah.
we did what we needed to do to make it work.
Toured
And then-
without a singer a lot.
Yeah, we toured for a whole year without
Wow.
a singer.
Wow. Like a whole country?
No, just a whole, like, I think we just did a couple West Coast loops,
West.
but it was like, yeah, a whole year for just like we don't need a singer. And then that's how we met Levi, Sergeant Sexy.
Sergeant Sexy.
Yeah, Montana. And he was like, I'll do vocals for you guys. And we're like, all right, well, like, we'll give it a shot, I guess. And it was what it was.
Yeah, it worked.
And it was a good time. And then
Yeah.
Levi ended up being a badass homie that toured with us and did merch for several years. And
Still a homie.
yeah. Shout out to Montana.
Shout out to Levi in Montana if you listen to this, brother.
Levi and the Midnight Drive boys and the Hibernator boys.
Oh, Midnight Drive and Hibernator, Chris Burnett, bro.
Yeah.
He'll have a listen for sure.
Yeah.
I probably said your name wrong, baby. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
So touring, tell us tour stories.
What do you want to know?
Ocean to do Western Loops. Where would you guys disembark? Would you go north or south?
All over. I never really care. I mean, it's not that I didn't care where we were going. I never knew where we were going until like the day.
Until the day of.
We were leaving,
I had
yeah.
members of my bands that did that. I was always like, damn, how do you not know? We're Vegas is first.
Well, I mean,
or Boise is first.
like you have. We usually do like all the way California up the loop through Utah, up Idaho, Seattle, Portland, and then loop back around.
Yeah.
but it was.
I'm just looking for specifics.
Yeah, I should have brought a lanyard, but I didn't have one. Well, I didn't go home first before I came here.
It's fine, all good. So like bands. I mean, Levi, Captain Sexy. We met Levi in Montana. Who else of note? Like, when did you guys meet the Let Live boys?
Let Live was not sure an exact year, but I remember Jeremy saying we're gonna tour this band at LA called Let Live, and I think they're super cool, but I don't know. So he just like kind of picked them out, did some research, played with them. Started the tour in LA, played the Knitting Factory, and that was the introduction to Loose Cannon, Jason. Because I wasn't in the venue, but apparently the Knitting Factory is going to close down in a couple months, and so Jason decided to start tearing curtains down during their set, and security didn't like that too much. So there was a big fight between security and the crowd, and a bunch of crazy shit happened. I guess Jason threw a trash can and hit Jeremy in the head and split his head open.
Oh shit.
So Bings got thrown on the ground. Drew was, I don't know what they were doing, but me and Adam were in the van smoking weed, and this all went down and came back. And yeah, it's just crazy. And then several nights after that, it was just more and more craziness from Jason and Let Live. And at that time, Let Live, those dudes never really partied, so it was just always, that was like one of the hardest things with being on tour with bands, because I Am the Ocean was just like, we're going to go
hard
100% all the time.
112%.
That's why our MySpace page was I Am the Ocean, #1 weed smoking band in America.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it was literally like, people would challenge us and they would lose.
Yeah.
Real badly.
Oh, you guys had a reputation to uphold.
Yeah. It was fun, though.
Yeah. Good times.
Lots of times. And yeah. Let Live's always been OG. That's like when we played Tucson, that's when The Bled came out. We met The Bled, and well, I guess we had met them before, but that's when The Bled met Let Live, and then The Bled took Let Live on tour, and then it just kind of spiraled craziness out of there, And
yeah,
then
the right people heard it.
And then Let Live, like a classy gentleman they are, when they did their re-release of Fake History, invited us to LA to play their CD release.
And I was there for that.
Exactly.
That was a great show. That was one of the best shows of my life. Played at the Troubadour.
So far,
one of the best shows of my life so far. I got to tell my dad, I was like, yeah, we're playing at the Troubadour. And he's like, what? I've heard of that place. That's the first place Elton John played when he came to America. And I'm like, oh, that's neat. But yeah, it was crazy. That was a crazy fun show.
Yeah.
Great show.
I've had a lot of, like, thinking about, like, people are like, what's the biggest show you've played? And it's like, well, we played Rock and Roots Festival in California, and that was a lot of people, but it's not like all people in one place.
Yeah.
Lorraine Drive was on that, so we were hanging out with Lorraine Drive all the time. Shout out to those boys.
Lorraine Drive, I missed that band.
Boys.
I listened to that shit a lot.
Yeah.
Victorville, Victorville boys.
And then, but the biggest, I guess I would say, is that show we played with Every Time I Die, Atreyu, and Makota, I think it was.
I don't remember that.
It was a pretty crazy show, and I've talked to Andy from Every Time I Die since that show several times, and I'm like, yeah, my band played with you a long time ago, and he's like, yeah, you guys had a girl in your band. And I'm like,
no. Oh yeah, Kim, right?
Yeah, I'm like, no, and then I was like, oh yeah, Kim was in our band, and I remember how crazy that was when Kim used to play with us, because Kim is an unreal violin player, so
incredible violin player.
So it's like every song had craziness to it.
Yeah.
And then Loom stole her.
Learning so much today.
Yeah.
No, totally.
But then Loom went on to do great things.
Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Show Stories. I want to thank you again for checking it out. Again, please make sure to check out all the projects mentioned in this episode. We want to thank Taylor Orton especially for giving us this interview, being a special guest on our podcast. I want to thank Miles Rogers for all of his hard hosting work. From all of us here at Show Stories, we'll see you in the crowd.
Hey, thanks for listening to Show Stories.
If you play local music in Salt Lake City,
Or if you love all things local music and have some interesting stories to share,
come sit down with Miles and Casey and be a guest on an upcoming episode of Show Stories.
you can get in touch with us by email at thehivemindcollectiveslc@gmail.com.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Hive Mind COLSLC.
Show Stories is a production of the Hive Mind Collective, S.L.C.